lot of people still think it's gambling. And so they
Yeah.
treat it like a gamble, but if you understand the rules, because I do this, man, I say this and I live by, I can teach you three things. I can teach you how to trade anywhere in the world. I can teach you how to trade and never lose your principal. And I can teach you how to trade your way out of an ordinary life into an extraordinary life. So I promise those three things. I live on those three things. And if you follow the method, you will walk into those things.
I love it.
So let me say this, there's two sides. So there's a trade side and there's an investment side. So people think trading is investing and it's different. So I have to explain to the trading, we're in and out every day. We don't care nothing about as much as you probably care about as these, fundamentals. We look at the technicals, we make the trade, we're in and out, boom. If you want to look at something long-term, first make the money, trade, learn to trade. When you learn to trade, I think most educated people, smarter people are traders, because we're looking at things that nobody else is looking at. And then no one has to tell you about whether to set your money in Tesla versus Netflix, whether to set your money in an EV, PLUG, or a mining stock. No one has to tell you about crypto because we've already done it. If you become excellent at equities, then you're going to be a great options trader, because you know more about the fundamentals of that trade than somebody who is just, I'm just not. Well, we know why it moves. We know when it's moving, why it's moving. So we know why you make that trade. So I think trading is it's a educational sport, because everything is going to affect everything you now see and hear that you never paid attention to is going to affect how you trade. Normally, to spare people, I would just say it was good, blah, 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 blah. But this is the real deal. We were latchkey kids. So except for Sundays where we all went to church and came back, we were latchkey kids during the week. My father was a Marine, he worked, and my mother was just doing all she could in the 70s. And our dinner was whoever the oldest child was making something up for everybody. And here's a paper plate. You go sit over there, you go sit over there, and see you when I see you. So that's what it was. Yeah.
What was a favorite? Do you recall anything that you guys would make often?
My oldest sister cooked the most, but she cooked the same thing, but she cooked it very good. So she would cook chicken. She'd bake some chicken. She's good at mashing potatoes, and she was good with green beans. So you had a starch, a protein, a blah blah, so vegetable, and that's cool. What we ate. Yeah.
Very, very cool. And were you an entrepreneurial kid growing up at all? Did you have, selling lemonade, candy, anything like that? Were you one of those kids?
Yes. I had my own, but I was never that great at it. Let me just be very honest. I had my own newspaper route, and which I went and applied for, and they come and they would leave you the papers at 5 a.m. You're supposed to fold the papers, put them in a bag, carry them around, and drop them off. That worked for about a good week, and I was like, I can't. We were the only Blacks on our block for like 18 years, but I knew all the way. So I think I got from down my one block back down the next block, and I was like, I jumped the fence and went back home. I was just like, that's not my gig. But I did all sorts of other stuff. I worked at the YMCA. I just had a hustle even as a kid. I worked everywhere I could.
Back then, everybody got newspapers too, so I'm sure you were hauling them around all over the place.
I was hauling them around, and the lady came and like, "You're fired, ma'am."
Yeah. That's funny.
Where are the papers you were supposed to deliver?
So did you go to college then too, or did you venture out on your own? What was kind of your next?
And the funny thing is, nobody even told me that I was college material. I don't think anybody pushed me to go to college. I think they thought our family, the one Black family, nobody's going to go there. But I was like, I'm going to college, and I just sort of made my way. So I ended up in Washington D.C. and I ended up getting into, because I went various routes, but I ended up at the University of District of Columbia, which is the HBCU, Historically Black College and University.
Okay.
And one day, I heard, I was in my political science class. It was my major, political science. And one of the teachers liked me, and she said, "You should run for student government president." I'm like, yeah. I'm working, because I worked my way through school. I was a temp. I could type 80 words a minute. And I'd get on the phones and I'd be like, Goldstein and Braun, how can I help you? And I was very good at the phone deal. So I was making money temping because I had to put myself through school. But I will say this. I heard the professor say she should run for student government president. And then she added this caveat, because if they pay for your whole tuition. Blah.
Oh, now that would make sense. Yeah.
So this is what I did. I went and recruited the cutest guy I could find that had all the women. And this is the truth. His name is Dave. And I said, Dave, I need you to be because you had to run as a ticket. I need you to be my vice president, and and I need you to just run, and you can go to school for free. He's like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Tell me where my people need to go. Then I had to have a treasurer and a sergeant of arms. So we went and got this, and we got this Korean guy. He's like, you want to go to school for free? He's like, yeah, the treasurer, you good at math? Good. And then I got one more guy. I couldn't find any girl, one more guy. And I said, listen, I need you to be the sergeant of arms. The only deal is you're the only person that can put me out of office. Okay. I need to be in office. You cannot put me out. He's like, I'm in school free. Boom, books, tuition, boom. I had a whole team. Nobody even knew me at the school. I was student government president. Everything was paid for. And I was going to school myself. Let me make you laugh. So you know that you're supposed to take only 15 credits a semester, the most, and I realized that they were not paying any attention to me. And I was a student government president. I did 28 courses credits my last semester. I was like, I got to get out of here, 28 credits. And in the middle of the semester, they're like, this is just basically illegal. How are you doing this? I was like, well, half of the courses are just show up. They're just gym. They're just stuff I never did. You got, and plus we're halfway through. So they let me go through. I let get out. I was probably the most troublesome, but I made my way through there. So I went there, and then I went straight there. I came out of school debt-free, went to Emory University. And that was the big change.
Wow. Yeah. That's incredible. That's incredible. Did you said that no one knew you on campus or anything like that. Did you use, basically the influence of the people that you brought into your team?
I did.
Was that?
Because I was friends with I was friends with a few people, some guys who asked me out, but I was like, who are the most famous people? Because I worked and went to school. Yeah. I worked my way through school. So it wasn't like if I took a class, I'd sneak a class in here at night or in the morning or maybe one in the middle of the day, but I worked. We weren't from one of those rich families, and which brings me to my Emory story. I got a partial scholarship to Emory, and that's where everything changed, because when I went to Emory, I say this all the time, Emory's the Harvard of the South. There's nothing but money. Yeah. And back then they registered through the gym. We went to this big gym. I was like, what kind of gym is this? This is bigger than our whole university. I mean, this gym had sections for the 7 pools. This just never seen anything like it. And they were like, everybody go to this Woodruff Hall gym. And then, and so they looked at my papers when I got to the door, and then there were these families with their parents and the kids, and they were taking them all through that line. And they looked at my paper and they said, you go to that line. My line was the slowest line there. And they were just cha-ching, and MasterCard, Visa, American Express. And I was in this line. I was in the sign your life away line, tuition, books, dorm, all of that. Before I ever took a course, I had signed my life away. And I thought right there at that moment, I'm in the wrong line. Yeah. How did I get in this line? And where are my parents? And why am I not in that line? And that was the change. The summer before I went there, I had found out about trading. I just loved it. I loved it. I knew that's what I wanted to be, even though my degree was going in a different direction. I just knew that I loved it. And while I was at Emory, I met somebody they were like, oh, my dad is, he has a little hedge fund. Yeah. And you should come and intern. And that's all she wrote.
That was so what got you into trading, prior to, getting to Emory? Was there anything that
always a reader. And so when I was in college, undergrad, and even before then, always a reader. I would pick up the papers. This is when there was no coronavirus. Somebody left a paper on the subway train. You'd pick it up and read it on your way. And so the part that they would always throw away, nobody would pick up, would be the parts. And this is when it was back on the paper, Wall Street Journal, daily, the Daily Business Journal, and it'd have all the stocks. And I'm like, what is this? This is commodity, corn, metal. What is that? And I was like, if they could do it, I could do it. So what is it? Because it's obviously a secret. And I wanted to know the secret. I just felt that that was where I should go.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So how long did it take for you to create Simple Trader Pro? Is that a little bit further down the line yet,
That's
or is
further
that?
down the road because I did end up graduating from Emory. I got a Master of Divinity and went back to DC. I was named Director of Religious Affairs, which is out of the mayor's office, but worked out of the White House too.
Wow.
I did some marvelous things there. And I always still wanted to trade. I just was like, I got a double life here, but I couldn't tell anybody because
Yeah.
back then, people did not let you have multiple identities. You couldn't be good at one thing and another. I was like, just let me, I know the Hebrew, the Greek, what do I need to do? Who do I need to
Yeah.
bring together? So that was a bunch of meetings. And I ended up moving after that. I ended up moving back to Florida. And when I went to Florida, I met some traders there. And the people that I used to work with, they would send me people because this is how it started. When I was interning, I tried to gobble up everything that I wanted to know, anything that was interesting, any word that they said, I would put it in my mental Rolodex and go home and like, what is a short? Or, just start from the beginning, what is the derivative? Just whatever it was, I would go and then, when the other interns were, I was like, here's some coffee. Tell me about such and such. I was the one, and I got very good at what I was doing. And I would like help them from the back. You need to do this. They're like, thank you.
Yeah.
I was getting, bottles of wine I didn't drink. I was getting, we like her, bring her back. And then I think my second intern year, this is what happened. They were bringing in these big people from, MIT, Harvard, Princeton, everybody that now has a Series 7 license, but doesn't know how to trade. Don't have no clue about how to trade. And they send them to Rosetta. And Rosetta would teach them how to trade. So then we're like, come work for us. I was like, no, I'm on this other trajectory. And then they said something very interesting. Teach us what you teach them. And I said, I got something.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And I just began to teach friends and family, always traded. And then when everything became more computer centralized, I was like, here I go. But I always traded. And about 2016, I thought, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start my own trade company. I'm very good at teaching people how to trade and become wealthy, not just trade profitably. I teach in a way, it's a method that I teach that I don't think no one else has. So we did back testing. We found about a good 6 people that had never traded before, have no desire to trade. And I thought, if I can teach these 6 people, I got it.
Yeah.
Those 6 people, a couple of them work for me now.
Okay.
Their lives have been changed.
Yeah.
And they are just like, we're never leaving you because we have learned more than we've ever learned. And they quit their day job. So we launched in 2017. We were profitable day one.
Wow.
We were profitable day one. And
Yeah.
I think between that, but because I knew so many people already in trading, and you already know, trading is a man's sport. Most men, young men, whether it's retail trading, institutional traders, they're young, they're white. And I looked around and said, where are the people that look like me? Where are people who are brown and black skin, and where are they? And how come they haven't been given access? And I was hearing horror stories, and I'm like, and where are the women? Where are the girls? Why am I always the only girl in the room?
Yeah.
Always, so I thought, we're going to change this dynamic. Let's set the company on a different trajectory. I had at that time a couple of hundred men that would come every day because we trade online, to my live trade room, because my live trade room made money. And that was great, but I just knew there was more. And so I just began to reach out for women and people of color. And that's what sort of put us on the map. People know us, even though I still got my big room for retail traders and institutional traders sort of pick their ear in. I bought an AI company. So my AI company, I think, is as good as any bank on the street. I think we trade just as much. I think we trade just as big. I think that we have just as great traders, so because of that, I think that in a good name, we've done very, very well.
Yeah, that's an amazing story. So you mentioned that you bought the AI company. Does that help you sort of automate the trades where you're able to get in and get out very, very quickly? Is that what the AI company is helping you do?
To get in and get out, I think it helps us. I can look at patterns. I mean, Kathy Wood ain't the only one. We can sort of probe push ourselves to see what's going to happen
Yeah.
in the next 60 to 90 days. And we have been on mark, on point. Before EVs got big, we were telling our people we were in from the bottom. So a lot of the, we did great. And before all the, and I have to say that the GameStop thing, that's why everybody got on and made gazillions.
Yeah.
And we were already doing our thing. So I think it just brought our company to the forefront because people now really want to do it. And they understand they some do, some don't. And our company is very good above anything else at making sure that we bring everybody along. We leave no one behind.
Yeah.
If you have a question, you can speak to a real person, and we'll walk you through how to either learn about trading or make the trade, actually execute the trade.
Yeah. So would you say that you can literally basically take anyone who just has an interest in trading, no pre-qualifications, prerequisites,
Absolutely.
take them from, and how long does that typically take from the time when, they join to, they're making their first trades?
In 60 days, you'll be able to make a trade and make money.
Okay.
I think in 60 days. We have a course. We have two parts to our company. We have a course that you can take and work with our team. And then we have a live trade room. Most people will give you a course and you're on your own buy, but we set you in our live trade room, and our live trade room is everything. I think that's the biggest and most special part of our company, because you're getting our scanners, you're getting our information, you're reaching us. You know what I mean? We're right there with you, and it gives you a different look. It gives you a different look than just somebody saying something to you. Yeah.
And is that like just like a Zoom room that you're joining in at this point, and that you've got a bunch of different people who are doing different things, or what does that experience look like?
It is an automated online room, whether we use that, but we have to change codes and firewalls every day.
Yeah.
It's an invited space where you come in and you can see everybody's face or not if you don't want to show your face, but we are running those trades every day. Yeah. And I think that there's something about being in a room. First of all, there's not one trader that can see everything. Plus, we have people that are very good in terms of sectors. So if you're industrials, tech, oil, I don't really trade commodities, but if you're in EV, if you're in, and it doesn't matter whether you're trading, mid, small, large cap, mega cap, it doesn't matter. We have people in every area so that you can see. And I think that lends to a better trading place, just like a floor on Wall Street. You hear this is moving, that is moving, it's exciting, it's great. And I think that people love coming into the trade room for the excitement.
Yeah, that sounds really, really cool, actually. What would be some of the things that you would say that a lot of people maybe come in with a misconception? They think that this is the way that trading works, but maybe you've shifted a different way. Is there anything that comes to mind that?
I think that a lot of people still think it's gambling, and so they treat it like a gamble. But if you understand the rules, because I do this, man, I say this and I live by it. I can teach you three things. I can teach you how to trade anywhere in the world. I can teach you how to trade and never lose your principal. And I can teach you how to trade your way out of an ordinary life into an extraordinary life. So I promise those three things. I live on those three things. And if you follow the method, you will walk into those things.
I love it. I love it. Wait, and what types of investments would you need? Like, I love what you just said. You can change, basically change your life. I can't remember exactly the way you phrased it, but basically, change your life. What type of investment would you need to start with in order to be able to end with that type of a goal?
So let me say this, there's two sides. So there's a trade side and there's an investment side. So people think trading is investing and it's different. So I have to explain to the trading, we're in and out every day. We don't care nothing about as much as you probably care about as these, fundamentals. We look at the technicals, we make the trade, we're in and out, boom. If you want to look at something long-term, first make the money, trade, learn to trade. When you learn to trade, I think most educated people, smarter people are traders, because we're looking at things that nobody else is looking at. And then no one has to tell you about whether to set your money in Tesla versus Netflix, whether to set your money in an EV, PLUG, or a mining stock. No one has to tell you about crypto because we've already done it. If you become excellent at equities, then you're going to be a great options trader, because you know more about the fundamentals of that trade than somebody who is just, oh, I'm just an well, we know why it moves. We know when it's moving, why it's moving. So we know why you make that trade. So I think trading is a it's a educational sport, because everything is going to affect everything you now see and hear that you never paid attention to is going to affect how you trade.
Yeah. And so you guys do a little bit of crypto as well? Is this the same principles that, sort of crossover? Are you like watching candlesticks and all of that, with everything?
We teach you how to read candlesticks. Yeah. Absolutely. Our way, we teach you how to read it. And we make sure, we just don't, when you come and you take the course, there's 2 modules to the course, and then you spend a week directly with me where I teach you the secret sauce that I will not put. It's proprietary, so I will not put it out there in the open. I teach you what specifically to look for, how to execute the trade. I'll set you on a simulator. We set up the simulator for you. Let's show you, and then come into the trade room on the simulator. Your money is important to me, so let's do this. Let's let you trade in our trade room for 30 days. Let's see if you get it. If not, we'll work with you a little bit more, because I need to know that you have mastered it before you start spending your own money.
Yeah. So basically, the trading is what's going to be in there generating, your call it operating capital, and then you reinvest that into sort of the longer term plays. Well,
everybody has different desires. Some people want to flip houses. Some people want to travel around the world. Some people want to now invest long term. They want to see what my outlook is for 1, 3, and 5 years. Where will I be? And we can help you do those metrics. But I think the most important thing is if you become in charge of your life, because let me just say this, Matt, if you're not a trader, then what happens is you're working a 9-to-5 job. They've already given you a ceiling for at least that year of what you're going to make. They're going to tell you when to come in, when to go out. You're working 40 hours a week. You still got a mortgage. You've got a car payment. You've got insurance. If you've had 1.5 children and a dog, then you have college that you have to pay for, not to mention your college loans. So you are already stuck. You cannot dream. What can you dream about? You can't take more than half a vacation, and probably who are these people that are going on vacation 4 times a year? There's something, the opportunity is there, and so now I need people to look up and say, this can be me. I can do this. Now let me just say, everybody's not gifted in trading. Some people, if you trade and you lose your mind and you fall down and you feel like you can't get up and you are, you're ready to jump out, that's not your gift. Keep your day job. Let's find something else for you to do. But if you like I do, I'm going to tell you, I love Mondays. People hate going to work on Mondays. I'm like, Monday, let's go. Let's go. So
I love it. I love your energy. This is fantastic. So for someone who is interested in trading and they have these long-term big goals, they want to change their lives, what type of time commitments are you normally looking at, on a daily basis? Are you, there from, when the bell rings to, closing bell, trading all day long, or what are?
Well, this is what our team does. We are the Simple Trader Pro team. We're up and running every morning, probably before 6. So people start clocking on before 6. There's a pre-market, pre-market, because depending on, I'm going to use East Coast time at 7 o'clock, you can begin trading. For some who pay more and on different brokers, you can come earlier than that and get your money. But pre-market starts 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The regular bell, then those people trade. For those people like, I got to work, so they'll do pre-market trading, and then at 8:45 we do another round of pre-market. And the regular East Coast time, the bell rings at 9:30. At 9:30, I don't keep you on all day. I've tried to find out who you are. What is it that you're trying to do? We're trying to build upon build, line upon line, precept upon precept. Let's get you. What's your goal? If your goal is, $5,000 a month, then let's just say that you need to make, $250 a day, or let's just say $500 a day, $2,500 a week. Give some room that you're not making it. So if that's the case, once you make that, we're trying to say, make your money and go home. I have a thing. Get your money. You've made your money today. Bye. See you later.
Yeah, I like
Bye.
it.
Go home. Get up. Go home, because if not, you'll overtrade. Yes.
Yeah.
And you know the saying, bulls eat, bears eat. Pigs go hungry because they're greedy.
Yep. No. So I'm curious, in your experience. So just this past weekend, I was sent something about a new type of cryptocurrency, and quite honestly, I don't quite understand it yet, but it's a DAO, DOA. I don't know if that rings a bell.
There's the DAO and then there's Shiba.
Yeah. So in things that are, this, I guess this could go with stocks as well, but like that particular one, it's I don't want to say pre-IPO because it's a crypto. I don't know exactly what the right term is, but it hasn't launched yet. And even if you have like a pre-IPO type situation that you have some information, about a particular company, are there any type of resources or areas that you could look to learn more about that, that are pretty reliable? Or is it, sort of, again, is that more on the gambling side of things where it's, it hasn't really been proven?
I like crypto. I don't think it's gambling. I think that, you have to understand how it works. And there's probably about 10 or 12 places that you could look to find information, but you've got to be in there with the people who know the information, right?
Yep.
You just can't, if you're just coming in from the outside, probably you're going to get taken because you don't know what's going on and how things are just sort of really regulating in the real world.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the part. Yeah. That's what's really, really interesting, I think, is,
I'm not buying I'm into the newer coin, just straight up, because I've, if you've not already got, Bitcoin at 55,000, 57,000 a share, you missed your money. Now here's another opportunity because the cryptos are growing, and that's different than the tokens. So they're totally different things. So whether it's the DAO, whether it's Shiba, whether it's Dogecoin, I call it Doji, whatever it is, I think that you have to have the mentality that you're going to have to take a leap, I always say, people, listen, run around your house, find all the pennies that you have in every drawer, in every seat, under every couch, in every car. You're just letting it sit there any day in a piggy bank. Go get it and buy for 0.000, not even 1 cent. Buy the crypto and keep it moving.
Yeah.
And if it works for you, good. If it didn't work for you, then what? But if you don't know how to set yourself up with a broker, the right broker for crypto, et cetera, you're not going to know how to do that. I think it's fun. I think it's exciting. I think it's a way to teach young people how to trade early, because I'm passionate about young people and their trading.
And even, especially on the crypto side of things, it's so future facing, right? I mean, there's so many things that it's going to change and impact so many different things, and being able to get your mind around that, no matter what age you are, especially if you're young today, is only going to, benefit you further in the future. I mean, I think so.
Yeah. I think so. I think it cannot hurt you. I do this, half the time, even when I was, now 20 years ago, when I was, hate to tell my age, but 20 years ago when I was an undergrad, I wish somebody had pulled me aside. And this goes back to what I say about access. I mean, how many people of color get the opportunity? How many people of color I've sat on a board, and one of the things that we figured out, if people that are not of color have $200,000 or $300,000 or $500,000 in the bank, they get a personal banker. What can we do for you? How can we help you? Can we help you invest? Can we put your money here? When they see that the people of color have that in the bank, they say that's hot money or quick money. You've got it because you sold a house, you had a rainfall come in some kind of way. It's not going to last, and they never even give them the opportunity to invest. And so I think, while most people hate Robinhood, I love it because it gave access. Now they did some wrong things. I mean, I don't like what they're doing. Their educational piece is that's why you have people like me. So I say this, I just think that it's very important, without a shadow of a doubt, to do your homework. For me, we've done so well. We have people lining up the block that will tell you how well they've done. So I think that beats any commercial, that beats you just ask people, how's this work? Does it work for you? Am I really making money? Yes. So I think, again, my aim and my heart is to give people who just think they're stuck, they're boxed in, an opportunity to raise their level of life, to dream. I'll say to dream again.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And I'm curious if you have any, insights into this. So, obviously we're coming out of, a crazy year and things are sort of all over the place, using your techniques, using your abilities, the things that you teach, do you feel like you would be able to, predict if there was something, and I'm not saying years and years ahead or anything, but do you feel like if something was to, some type of a blip, whatever it is that shows up in the market, you're like, oh, wow, what is that? We should probably get out now to be able to save, something's going to happen big. Do you feel like you'd be able to teach and show people, watch out for these types of things?
Only because we're in it every day. So
Yeah.
we see things a little bit ahead. Remember, I told you we are AI. We look at stuff. We look at stuff historically. If it's got to this place historically, this is what it's done. But we're in a new little season here. So
yeah.
some of the old paradigms have shifted. So you have to be ready for that because 5 years ago there was no crypto that was blowing it up like there is now. And they're making people millionaires and multimillionaires. So I say this to you to say, we have to make sure that what we do internally, and I can't talk about all of it, but we do look out for the future. What this look like? What is the projection for this? How is this going to work? And I'm a proponent of, just the regular stuff people say every day. And one of the things I say every day is, sell into strength, buy into weakness. So if it's come on, how don't be greedy. One of the first things that I learned with the hedge group, I started in commodities. And they would look at their watches every day and they would say, listen, it's going on, because how much money can one person make? And I was like, what? How much money? What? It's that, because I never thought it was an option that somebody could say, well, how much money can one person make? Well, yes, one person. So I learned from that. They went and they lived their life. So we're not consumed by it. I think every day they were leaving for tennis and golf. Half the crew went to tennis, the other half went and played golf. It's Florida, of course. So, do your best, but don't get sucked in by I've got to have more, because you'll never be satisfied. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. And I think that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs fall into. Yeah. There's always, you're never satisfied. You're always going, we got to make this goal, that goal. We got to, dominate
one
this.
Of the things that I feel carefully about, Matt, hate to interrupt you, was, don't chase money. Let money chase you. Be so good that it chases you. So I think when we start chasing things that are inanimate, and we start valuing ourselves based on that, you're already got an issue.
Yeah. I love that. That's great advice. So the Simpler Trader Pro, it's for anyone, correct? I mean,
for anyone. Now we do a lot of traders, people who have never traded before, but if you've traded before and you're not profitable, then come see me.
Yeah.
I've got to deprogram you and teach you some things and you'll be profitable. I mean,
love it.
Half of our big room is people who have never made money before till they met us.
Yeah. I love it. That's fantastic. If people want to learn more about yourself, the platform, what would be the best place to go and check that out?
Go to Hollywood and see my walk on the, no, I'm just kidding. My star on they'll go.
Not yet. Maybe soon, right?
SimpleTraderPro.com. SimpleTraderPro.com. If you go to SimpleTraderPro.com, you'll find us there. One of the things that I do is I'm from Missouri, grew up in Missouri, where talk is cheap. It's called the show me state. Missouri is called the show me. So one of the things, and my people get so mad at me because I say, come watch us trade live. And they just like, no. I'm like, because I can show you better than I can tell you.
Yeah.
So come just, go to Simple Trader Pro and it'll say, spend a free day in the trade room. We'll send you an invite. We'll let you in. It's usually on a Tuesday. We'll let you in and let you see how we really make money. Because a lot of people say they do, but they don't. So, or let us show you how we make money every single day. Now we can't keep you on but a few minutes once the bell rings, but you'll see a couple of us make money. Yeah. And then we got to boot you out for proprietary reasons. But let us show you how we really make money, because us showing you shifts the whole thing. Just like, okay.
Yeah. I love it. Rosetta, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your story here. And I think that this is going to be really, really popular with with listeners, because, again, you're tapping into a lot of different things that are sort of unknown, sort of mysterious to people. And if you can help teach, how to create wealth, incredible. So
Yeah.
I love it.
Matt, let me just say this to you. So great meeting you. You have a wonderful podcast, and just thank you for allowing us on.
No problem.